Bhagavad Gita Chapter 1 Text 25 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. The chariot has reached its place, and the silence of waiting has a new kind of intensity. Arjuna can see clearly. The great names of the age are there, not as stories from the past, but as living presences on the field. And now, Lord Sri Krishna speaks to Arjuna. Sanjaya says, in the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, Rishikesha, the Lord, said to Arjuna, just behold, Pārtha, all the Kurus who are assembled here. Sanjaya tells us that this happens in the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the other great leaders gathered there. These are not ordinary men in Arjuna's life. Bhishma is the grandsire, the embodiment of duty carried for decades. Drona is the teacher, the one who shaped Arjuna's skill, the one whose voice still lives in his memory. And around them stand chieftains from many lands, rulers and warriors whose decisions have all converged into this single moment. In the middle of that, Lord Sri Krishna, addressed here as Rishikesha, speaks to Arjuna. He says, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus who are assembled here. At first, it sounds almost plain, like a simple instruction. Look, see them. Yet, the names in this verse quietly carry deep meaning. Rishikesha is not only a title of reverence. It points to Lord Sri Krishna as the one who directs the senses and the mind. And Pārtha, meaning the son of Prita, is not only a formal way of addressing Arjuna. It is personal. It is family. It is a reminder of connection. Because Prita, Kunti's name, is not merely Arjuna's mother. She is also related to Lord Sri Krishna's own family line. In a single word, Lord Sri Krishna is speaking not only as a guide on a chariot, but as someone who belongs to Arjuna's world and knows him from within it. So when he says, behold the Kurus, it is not delivered like a cold command. It has the tone of a friend who understands what the sight will do and who still invites Arjuna to look. It is as if Lord Sri Krishna is saying, quietly, you asked to see, now see. And there is a subtle warmth in it as well, the kind that appears in close relationships when someone knows you're about to face a storm. Sometimes the most supportive thing is not to distract you from what you fear. It is to stand beside you and help you meet it with open eyes. Now, if we listen closely, this verse reveals something very tender about the way the mind approaches a crisis. Arjuna has asked to be brought between the two armies because he wants clarity. But clarity has a cost. When the chariot stops, the people he is about to face are no longer an abstract other side. They are his elders, teachers, cousins, men whose lives are braided with his own. And Lord Sri Krishna does something psychologically profound. He begins by asking Arjuna to open his eyes and see and look. Because often, before transformation can happen, a person has to stop turning away. Many of us, when we approach a very painful decision, try to keep it conceptual. We speak in generalities. We hide behind rules. We say this is what must be done, while quietly refusing to feel what it actually means. Lord Sri Krishna does not allow Arjuna to remain in that protective distance. Behold, he says, not with harshness, not with force, but with steadiness, and the use of Pārtha adds another layer. It is almost as though Lord Sri Krishna is anchoring Arjuna in identity and relationship at the very moment the mind may start to tremble. A crisis can make us feel isolated, as if we are carrying everything alone. A simple, intimate form of address can remind the heart, you are not alone. I am here. I know you. I know what you're facing. There is also something quietly humorous in the way close companions sometimes speak when they see a friend on the edge of overwhelm. Not mockery, not dismissal, but a gentle lightness that says, yes, this is hard and you can still face it. Sometimes that gentle tone is what keeps the mind from tipping into panic. So the verse gives us a picture of guidance that is very different from what we often imagine. We usually think guidance means receiving answers. The Gita shows us that guidance often begins with being brought to reality. And that is where the psychological teaching quietly forms. When we refuse to look, the mind creates fantasies. When we look with steadiness, the mind becomes honest. And when honesty is joined with guidance, a person becomes capable of action that is not merely reactive, but clear. When a difficult truth is in front of me, do I rush to conclusions, or do I allow myself to truly behold what is there? And when I do behold it, what kind of presence do I keep beside me? Because the difference between collapse and clarity is often the difference between looking alone and looking with the right guidance. May the wisdom of the Gita teach us to look steadily at what is present with Lord Sri Krishna beside us and let clarity arise without fear. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. Until we meet again.